Hello everyone and welcome back to the next video on learning Git. So if you are following along, then you will be knowing that I am doing a course on Angular, and here we have a demo application which we have created in the last video. So here if we can see in this project we have this git ignore file, and surprisingly we have not done anything related to Git while creating this application. So this means that Angular application has already initialized Git in its uh, folder structure. And also we can see there the Visual Studio is telling us that it has a branch, and currently it is in the master branch. So from this we can confirm one thing, that whenever we initialize a Git repository, we have a branch known as master. And also if you see in this area which says source control, so it is nothing but where we do actually version controlling, and talked about this, that Git is used to do version controlling. So here we can see that there are 31 files, and there is a section known as changes, and I have done this into changes part. If you click here in stage all changes, this plus icon, it will move all this code, all these files into the stage area. And if you are following along with me, then you can see that when you create this application, it automatically move all these files into stage changes. I have recently, before the tutorial, I have moved these files in changed area. So what are these stage changes and changes uh, structure? So whenever we are doing some code, it is nothing but the changes we do in uh, the changes we do while starting our work or the development. So all those changes, there are suppose 10 files in which we have do the modifications, but we know that only 4 files are final, which can be uploaded on the Git repository, or which do not need any modification. So we will move all those 4 files in this stage changes area, and then only if we commit, we will see about the commands later on, but here for a hint we have this commit part. So what does commit do is it actually stores the 4 files in the Git repository. So if we want that the changes we do to be available to other developers, it should be in the stage changes. So this is a very important point. So we have not done anything in the Git, and still we are having these stage changes. To confirm this, if we have a working Git directory or not, we can check by going into the project structure. If we open the terminal, press enter, and if we go to the project location, we can see there is a Git folder. This is nothing but a reference to the actual Git which we have, Git repository which we have in the server. In a moment we will be doing the setup for that. So for now it is nothing but empty. It has some files and folders which we will not look into in detail, but it has a folder, but it is having no values, or it is having no information right now. So to check the architecture, to understand the architecture, let us draw a diagram and try to understand. Here if we consider this as a Git repository on the remote side, so this means the repository which we create on the GitHub website. So suppose this is that, and here is the file structure or the project in which we are working on in our computer. So once we make changes into our working directory, we need to move the developed code or the files which we want to be shared by other developers in the staged area, which you just saw in this area, stage changes. So we do by this command git add and the file name. So this is the command for adding the files into the stage changes area, or we can directly, as said earlier, we can directly click on this plus icon. We have, if we want to move all the files in stage changes, we can directly use this plus command, or if we want to move some specific files, we can use this minus icon to bring back into the unstage changes area. Or if these files are in in the changes section, we can just click on this plus icon to bring back in the unstage or the stage changes. So back to the paint, and here is our stage area. And after this, if we commit the code, it will save all those references in the .git folder which we saw just now. And this git folder is saved locally in our system, which is my laptop. And if I want that the references or the information which the .git file has, information is nothing but the changes we made or the files which we developed. So if we want these changes to appear in the remote repository, we have a command which is git push, and what will it do is nothing but it will send all those information in the git repository and it will save them. So here is a simple one step which you can use. Similarly, if you want that there is some code which is developed by some other developer and you want to access those code in your system, so you can write a command known as git fetch, which will just load the changes or download the changes which are available in the remote side, which is git fetch, FETCH. Or if you want that those changes should be downloaded in your system, it should automatically be merged with your code. Merge is nothing but whatever code you have and whatever code is new, those two will combine with each other. So suppose there are 10 lines of code which you have written and there are 2 lines of code which is made by some other developer, so it will merge those two and create a 12-line code. And that is up to you. If the changes are in the same file, we get an option that whether you want to keep both the changes, means the 10 line of your and the 2 line of other developer, or you want to keep either of the one, or if you want to do if you want to keep only the incoming changes, which is the changes coming by the server. So depending on your selection, it will automatically do the changes and it will come in your the stage changes. And if there is some modification, then you have to again commit those things, because now your working directory has some additional code, so to keep track of that you have to commit those changes. So it will be much clear once we actually work or actually do this in practice, which we will be covering in our Visual Studio or the Angular tutorial. So to have an idea, a merge is nothing but when we have two parent or two parents and it is merged in one branch. So here, if suppose I have a branch known as 102, suppose, and there is another branch which is 105, and 105 is where I am working, and 102 is from where I have to take the additional code. So if I merge 102 in 105, we get a new branch, or the same branch, which is 105, but now it has the code from the two branches. So now this is known as a merge. And in commit and pull, it is like I am working on 102 branch in my system, and I am fetching or pulling the code from the same branch, which is 102. So this is known as a pull, or a simple pull or fetch. We have covered commit. What is a commit? What is a push, pull, fetch, merge, add for adding into stage area, stage changes, and unstage changes, which is just the changes. So I hope you understand the basic terminologies which we will be using in the Git, which is almost these commands only. We don't need to learn any commands, because those commands are very easy, and most of the browsers which support Git are having the GUI feature, which is graphical user interface, for doing all those commands. So for example, in Visual Studio, when we are doing the code in Angular, we have this tick icon for commit, we have this push for pushing the code, we have this pull for taking the pull, we have this stage all changes, unstage all changes, and that's it. So I hope you got a basic idea of what is Git and what are the basic terminologies. In the next video, we will actually push this code into a Git repository in the GitHub website. So that's it, and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.